Back, folks. It's a terrific Tuesday indeed. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. We are downtown at the Liquid Lunch Outpost. We're on Broadway. Before getting into the Mix It Up segment, where we will not mix it up, we're waiting for Robert Hornak, but Michael Gordon joins me today. Michael is a communications specialist and former spokesperson for the Department of Justice during the Clinton administration. Now I know why I remember you. No, well, Dow down 350, and in case I hadn't mentioned it earlier, which I did, but you should know, the Fed did cooperate with the president and cut the Federal Reserve rate by 50 basis points. It should have some good effect on the market, but not yet. Mike, you're having a good effect on us, because if you weren't here, we'd have no one to mix it up with. But
great.
Lots of stuff going on. I know your perspective is unique because you worked, in the Clinton administration, and I'm sure you're a proud Democrat. To start off, are you proud of the way this is working out for your party? I mean, it turns out after all this diversity talk and all this other stuff, it comes down to 3 old white guys.
So what I'm happy about is that it looks like the party is on the verge of nominating somebody who can actually beat Trump in the fall. While Bernie Sanders is sincere and he's believed the same things for his entire public life, there were a lot of Democrats, including me, who were concerned that he was the riskiest choice to go up against Trump. And every Democrat, no matter what, wants to defeat the president this fall. I think Biden is a surer bet to take on the president.
I'm on the other side of that coin. I'm kind of a libertarian, but I am supportive of the president and a lot of his economic policies. I thought he took some great advice from Larry Kudlow and Stephen Moore in shaping some of the things he did. But I feel like the best thing that could happen for Trump is for a fight to shape up basically between good and evil, capitalism or socialism. If you put America to the test on that, I think the middle of that ground will come down on the side of capitalism.
Yeah, I think so too. I have a lot of friends who are moderate Republicans, moderate Democrats, independents. They want to defeat the president. They're disaffected by the president, and they would not vote for Bernie Sanders, even in that circumstance. And so Biden gives these voters a lot more comfort, and Biden will bring a much larger coalition to our party come Election Day this fall.
Would you be shocked if I told you that, according to Bureau of Labor and Statistics, there's 28% of Americans identify themselves as registered Democrats, 28% of Americans identify as registered Republicans, 41% identify as independents. So that middle that you're talking about, like I got friends that are moderate Democrats and they're moderate Republicans, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that middle right there, both the Democrat and the Republican, I call them purple people, you know what I mean? Because they have some reds and some blues in them. That middle there, I think faced with that binary, capitalism or socialism, pick one. I feel like most of that middle holds their nose and says, I don't have to vote for Trump, but I'm not voting for Bernie.
Right. I think what you would see is a lot of people skipping the ballot line. They would vote on other ballot lines and just not vote for president if they're against this president, but Bernie's the one on the ballot. I'll say a lot of the independents are what some people call embarrassed partisans.
Yep.
And so a large number of them actually do lean one way or the other, but they vote for the person. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Michigan. The Michigan primary is next week. I have a lot of family, a lot of friends who are Republicans, independents, Democrats. And so many of them say, regardless of how I'm registered, I vote for the person.
Yeah.
And that's a thing you hear from real people.
Yes, exactly.
We don't hear that so much in New York.
You know what?
but real
I got to
people.
ring the bell. I like this guy even more now. You know what? We're going to have you on again, no matter what Frank says. But no, seriously, I refer to my audience. I always say that, like, if you're all red or all blue, those are the wackos. You know what I mean? Most of us have... you may like guns, but you may also be for abortions. You know what I mean? You may be against weed, but for guns, right? There's all these different, and to me, the palette is the middle, is different shades of purple, and that's who's going to decide this election if it's Bernie.
Yeah. So it's, I agree. There are many more.
I ring the bell when a Democrat and a Republican agree.
Okay. Okay, fine. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, the real people, the political class, which is in New York, in D.C., they influence one another. but they don't influence real voters.
That's right.
You know, real voters are busy, you know, worrying about meeting the mortgage. They're going to their kids' sporting events. They're dealing with a health crisis. They might have had a fire in their home and don't have the insurance to cover it. So that's what real people think about. They don't think about what's going on cable news all the time.
So,
and yet they vote.
I want to ask you this. You said you're happy that we finally got a candidate that can respectfully beat Donald Trump, something like that, right? You think Biden's the guy?
I think he is the guy. Given the current field, he is absolutely the guy. I will also predict that we are not going to have a brokered convention. I think he's going to overperform today, and that's going to begin an even further consolidation.
Wait a minute. You think he's going to... Now, this is the guy you think will win. You think he's going to overperform today on Super Tuesday?
Doesn't mean he'll win, but he'll overperform expectations.
Or do you think he's going to overperform on Super Thursday? Take a look at this.
Tomorrow's Super Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. Super Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I?
Bruh.
He said he loves New Hampshire when he was in Vermont. He called Chris Wallace Chuck Todd the other day. Now, you would think Super Tuesday would kind of just like roll off your lips.
Yeah, most of the elections are on Tuesday and sometimes on Saturday, and he's been on a few ballots. But, you know, what we've learned over the past generation is that voters really just care about the issues. They don't care about the personal failings of candidates.
No, I'm asking you if you think he's adequate to you know, if he can, if he's equipped at this point.
100% he's equipped, and of course we'll all be paying close attention to who his running mate is, but I do think he's equipped 100%. And the other thing is voters don't really care about those sideshows, those gaffes. We saw, you know, Trump was elected with a lot of personal failings. Clinton was elected with a lot of personal failings.
That's for sure.
No one's going to vote based on whether Joe Biden says Super Tuesday or Super Thursday. They're going to vote based on what he's going to do for them and how he's going to impact their lives.
All right. Well, look, very sane conversation, which doesn't happen a lot these days with Democrats and Republicans. But I appreciate your point of view very much so. You're a great guest to have on. We hope you'll come back.
All right, thank you.
Michael Gordon, thank you. We're going to take a quick break right here. Dr. Louisa Petri is going to join us. She's a board-certified cardiologist, and she's going to be talking about what medical things you should be looking out for. Robert Hornak is also in the house. We're going to kick off hour two, Aaron and I, with Nick Langworthy, chairman of the New York State Republican Party. Tisha Powell's here. She's going to light it up. Johnny McDonough. And Tom Reed is CEO of the nationwide environmental company, the Mold Authority, will be here talking to you about what you got to do to keep your house safe from the coronavirus. We're going to take a quick break. More Liquid Lunch for you right after this.